Good day, buddies! How is it going? My name is Hannah Christine Febrin Nainggolan. I am one of students of Introduction to Discourse Analysis Class B, and today I would like to present my reading report regarding the topic 7 entitled Discourse and Genre. So the first point that we have to be comprehend is what is genre. So let me tell you. Genre is Genre is the ways in which people get things done through their use of language, through their use of spoken and written discourse. Genres are activities that people engage in through the use of language. The example of spoken discourse, the example of spoken genre are academic lectures and any casual conversations. Meanwhile, the example of written genres are newspaper reports and academic essays. So genres may typically be performed by a particular person aimed at a particular audience, such as an academic lecture being delivered by a lecturer to a groups of undergraduate students. There may be certain contexts in which a genre occurs, such as a lecture taking place in a university lecture theater, and certain topics are that are typically associated with the use of a genre. For example, a particular academic course content. And then we have to define genres according to the linguists. So the first linguist who defined genres is Miller in 1984. He stated that the notion of genre as social action has been especially important in the area known as rhetorical genre studies. Genre is defined not in terms of the substance or in the form of discourse, but in the on the action it is used to accomplish. This action is recognized by other people, and the genre is accepted over time and as a way of doing something. While Miller and Bazerman in 2011 defined the genre as a kind of social agreement that about ways of doing things with language in a particular social and cultural settings. And then we jump to the next point is assigning a text into a genre category. So how does we categorize a discourse to a particular genre, or in other words, how we assign it to a genre category? So Cook argues that we draw on many aspects of language and context. Through this, we may consider the author or the speaker of the text and the intended audience of the text. And we may also consider the purpose of the text, the situation in which the text occurs, the physical form, and then also in this case of a written text is the title of the text. And there are also other factors that we can characterize a discourse into a genres category, such as the content of the text, the level of formality of the text, and then the style or register of the text, and whether it is spoken or written text. And then assigning a text to a genre category does not necessarily involve an exact match in terms of characteristics or properties. However, it involves the notion of sufficient similarity to have a relationship with other examples of the genre in a particular genre category. So we don't have a particular or a necessarily characteristic or properties to categorizing a text or a discourse to particular genres. And then the next point is networks or chain of genre. So a key issue here is the way the use of one genre may assume or depend on the use of a number of other interrelated genres. For example, an academic essay may draw from and cite a number of other genres such as academic lectures, specialist academic texts, and other journal articles. Knowledge about genres includes the understanding of the totality of genres available in the particular sector, how these genres interact with each other, which genres a person might choose to perform at a particular task. So, for example of genre chain is letter to the editor. Letter to editor provide a useful example of genres chain in that they often refer to and assume a knowledge of other genres and other preceding events. So that can be categorized as a genre chain. And then genre networks, for example, graduate research students, such as graduate research students of Andalas University. These networks shows outside of the typical ones research students might assume they need to be able to take part in order to succeed in their studies. So that are the example of network genre. And then we come to the written and spoken genres. The first one is written genre across culture. So it looks at the use of genres across culture, also has implication for discussion of genre. For example, different patterns of an academic essay come from the different of a number of different languages and also the cultures. Meanwhile, the spoken genres across cultures, for example, the tendency of Japanese women and U.S. Women in dating. While Japanese women are more initiate to start a conversation with their partner. Meanwhile, in the U.S., the women are tend to only following their partner in the conversation. So that's the difference of spoken genre across cultures. And then we come to the next point of this material is discourse structure of genres. So discourse structure of genres can be analyzed, of course, by identifying its generic structure based on its genre categories membership. For example, letter to the editor and doctoral dissertation, and then so on. The example of generic structure consists of title, background, aim of the study, methods, results, and conclusion. Meanwhile, the example of rhetoric structure organized by situation, problem, solution, and evaluation. So that's all my understanding regarding the discourse and genre. Once again, in conclusion, genre are the ways which people get things done through their use of spoken and written discourse. Genres are activities that people engage in the spoken and written the use of their language. So that's all my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. See you in the next topic.